Good morning, and welcome to your AIDailyPress morning podcast for January 6, 2026. I'm your host, Walter. Firstly, tensions between the US and Denmark have escalated over the disputed territory of Greenland. The US Department of Defense has declined to comment on the matter, but experts warn that any miscalculation could have far-reaching consequences for regional and global security. In a related story, the capture of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro by U.S. forces has sparked widespread condemnation and concern from the international community. At least 24 Cuban nationals were killed during the operation, and Vice President Delcy Rodriguez has vowed to defend Venezuela against American aggression. The incident has raised questions about the legality and implications of such actions, with some hailing it as a bold move against a notorious dictator, while others condemn it as a blatant breach of international law. The UK government is walking a fine line, urging caution and emphasizing the need for a peaceful transition to democracy in Venezuela. As the situation continues to unfold, attention is also turning to the potential implications for global security and stability. The prospect of the U.S. annexing Greenland has been met with widespread skepticism and concern, with former conservative Foreign Secretary Sir Jeremy Hunt warning that such a move could lead to the collapse of NATO. We'll continue to provide updates and analysis on these developing stories as more information becomes available. For now, one thing is clear: the U.S. actions in Venezuela have opened a Pandora's box, raising fundamental questions about the rules-based international order and the role of major powers in shaping global affairs. And remember, as we always say, the truth is in the news, but the news is not always the truth. This is Walter, signing off for the AIDailyPress morning podcast. Now for the latest in social and cultural news, here is Barbara Waters.
Walter, and then she'll know what's right now. Firstly, in Latin America, the recent capture of Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro by U.S. forces has sparked a wave of reactions across the region. Some leaders have condemned the action as an unacceptable violation of sovereignty, while others have welcomed it as a necessary step to address Venezuela's humanitarian crisis. The situation is complex, with diverse perspectives from leaders such as Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva and Ecuadorian President Daniel Noboa. In other news, the UK has indicated a potential shift in its post-Brexit stance, with Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer suggesting that his government is open to pursuing closer economic ties with the European Union's single market. This move has sparked debate, with some viewing it as a pragmatic step to boost economic growth, and others seeing it as a threat to the UK's sovereignty. Additionally, we're following developments in India's airline industry, where the crisis surrounding Air India has raised questions about the future of the national carrier and its impact on the broader aviation sector. We're also tracking a strong earthquake that rattled western Japan, prompting concerns about seismic activity in the region. Finally, in business news, the CEO of Salonpas Maker is seeking to take the $1.9 billion drug firm private, while U.S. sales of Japanese cars have seen a rise. These are just a few of the stories we're covering today. We'll continue to bring you updates and in-depth analysis throughout the day. Now, for the latest in business and finance, here is Louis Riskwiser.
Thank you, Barbara. In today's briefing, we'll be summarizing the key events and market trends from our recent articles. We'd been closely following the developments in Venezuela, where a U.S. military strike captured President Nicolas Maduro, sparking intense debate about the implications of such an action. Our analysis highlights the complex historical context, geopolitical implications, and potential outcomes of this situation. It's essential to consider multiple viewpoints and evaluate the consequences of U.S. interventionism in Latin America. In other news, we've been monitoring the slew of key economic indicators that could significantly impact Federal Reserve policy and market trends. The December jobs report, ISM manufacturing PMI, and non-manufacturing PMI have all provided valuable insights into labor market resilience, inflationary pressures, and business sentiment. As markets navigate Fed policy uncertainty, inflation persistence, and labor market tightness, investors must remain vigilant and adaptive. Lastly, we've been keeping an eye on the technology sector, where recent earnings disappointments from Oracle and Broadcom have triggered sharp sell-offs in AI-related stocks. This week's messaging from industry leaders will be crucial for sector stabilization, and we'll be closely watching the narrative around AI infrastructure investments. Remember to stay informed, stay vigilant, and always keep your wits about you as we navigate these interesting times together. Now for the latest in science and technology, here is Carl Starman.
Thank you, Louis. I'm Carl, your guide through the vast expanse of scientific discoveries and wonders. First, we had the latest on luminous fast blue optical transients, or LFBOTs, which are incredibly powerful cosmic explosions that outshine supernova. Researchers have discovered that these events might be caused by a black hole tearing apart its companion star in a binary system. Next, we'll be discussing the groundbreaking discovery of a hidden companion star orbiting the red supergiant Betelgeuse. This finding has significant implications for our understanding of the behavior and evolution of massive stars like Betelgeuse. The companion star creates a wake in Betelgeuse's atmosphere, which can be observed as changes in the star's spectrum and gas flows. Lastly, we'll touch on the fascinating phenomenon of LFBOTs and how they're helping us better understand extreme astrophysical processes. These events are characterized by their brief duration and immense energy output, which exceeds that of typical supernovae. These discoveries remind us of the awe-inspiring complexity and beauty of the stars that light up our night sky. As we continue to explore the cosmos, we can expect new insights into the behavior and evolution of celestial bodies, ultimately deepening our understanding of the universe. Now for the latest in sports, here is Howard Closewell.
Thank you, Carl. In our first article, we delved into Michael Masunis's decision to join the University of Texas, a move that underscores the evolving landscape of college athletics, where player mobility is increasingly prevalent. Next, we examined the NFL's Black Monday, which saw several teams part ways with their head coaches. The Cleveland Browns, Las Vegas Raiders, and Arizona Cardinals are among those embarking on new eras, seeking to turn their fortunes around after underwhelming performances. Lastly, our attention turned to the NFL coaching carousel, where the Raiders, Browns, and New York Giants are actively searching for new leaders. With General Manager John Spytek leading the charge for the Raiders, assisted by minority owner Tom Brady, and the Browns seeking a leader to guide them back to playoff contention, these teams are poised for significant change. As we navigate this transformative period in sports, one thing is clear: the pursuit of excellence drives both athletes and institutions alike. We'll continue to monitor these stories and provide updates as more information becomes available. Stay informed and keep pace with the ever-changing world of sports. Now for the latest in travel and human interest, here is Charles Curl.
Thank you, Howard. We started with the profile of Eleanor Roosevelt, a trailblazer for women's rights and social justice, who continues to inspire us with her courage and conviction. Then, we traveled to Acoma Pueblo in New Mexico, where we explored the rich cultural heritage and traditions of this ancient community, and learned about the importance of preserving our cultural identity. We also examined the complexities of international relations, particularly in regards to the situation in Venezuela, and the need for nuanced and thoughtful consideration of multiple perspectives. This story reminded us of the value of slowing down, reflecting on the potential consequences of our actions, and appreciating the dignity of ordinary work and everyday life. Throughout these stories, we're reminded of the importance of balance, reflection, and nuance in our understanding of the world around us. By celebrating the diversity of human experience and considering multiple perspectives, we can foster a deeper appreciation for the complexities of our global community. Now, for the latest in fashion and entertainment, here is Joan Streams.
Thank you, Charles. We've got a fabulous show lined up for you today, with all the latest news and scoop from the world of entertainment. First off, We're just hours away from the 83rd Annual Golden Globes, hosted by the incomparable Nikki Glaser. We'll be bringing you all the behind-the-scenes action, nominee predictions, and party highlights. So now for the latest in nature and environment, here is David Attenacher.
Thank you, Joan. Firstly, researchers have made a remarkable discovery in the Gulf of California, identifying a unique species of bat that feeds on marine resources. The fish-eating bat is found on over 20 islands and plays a vital role in the ecosystem. Conservation efforts are underway to protect this charismatic species and its habitat. In another story, we're seeing the devastating effects of climate change on communities across America. From dwindling biodiversity to extreme weather events, individuals like Tim Goncharoff, Kyra Gress, and Tim Brenner are sharing their personal stories of loss and resilience. Their accounts highlight the human cost of climate change and the need for collective action. Lastly, a recent assessment by the Intergovernmental Science Policy Platform on Biodiversity and Ecosystem Services has revealed that approximately 1 million species are threatened with extinction, including roughly 40% of amphibians and a third of reef-forming corals. The decline of insect populations is particularly alarming, with about 75% of species yet to be identified facing an uncertain future. These stories serve as a reminder of the importance of preserving our planet's natural wonders and the need for continued research and conservation efforts to protect endangered species. As we move forward, it's crucial for policymakers, business leaders, and citizens to work together towards a more sustainable future. We'll be exploring these topics in more depth throughout the day, and that completes our morning podcast for today. Thank you for listening. Until this evening, I'm David Attenacher for AI Daily Press, the world's most unbiased news source.